Hello everybody, Hardcore Ninja here with another SFML 2D side-scroller game engine tutorial. So I quit the last video a little bit too fast. I just got done recording that a second ago, and I'm already on beginning to record the next video, which will be video number 9 in this series. So I forgot to commit everything that we did, so I haven't touched anything from the last video. So we're just going to go through that commit process, and then we're going to get into making all this stuff work. Yeah, I apologize about that. I meant to do that. So, just take this time to kind of, just make sure everything looks super duper clean. Everything looks super duper nice. Get rid of these this should be exactly where we left it, before. I want to comment out that because I don't want my CPU like burning steam just for that. We've already tested that and made sure it works. So I'm just going to comment out that little debug thing. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So let's go ahead and just commit this real fast, and then we'll get into actually making the settings work and hopefully be done with the settings. Because settings is kind of a necessary evil, but it is kind of boring. It's not the juicy part of this. But you definitely want to get the settings. I can't recommend this enough. You definitely want to get your settings done in the beginning so that by the time you're building the game, you kind of thought of all the settings you want to accommodate. So probably more settings we could have accommodated, but these are kind of the essentials here. So got the rest of the drop downs. It's drop downs added to settings state. All right, so in settings age, added these two, we added this, 3, we added this, and 4, we added this. Right, bam. Settings.cpp. We added this, added this. 3, we added, or no, we changed this to this. And 4, we changed this to this. Okay. And that was 4. All right, so now we're on 5. 5, we changed this to this. And 6, we essentially added these. And then 7, we changed this for loop here to this. Okay. And then 8, we changed this all of this. Nope. Take that back. We changed just the render portion of this. This to this. Okay, nice. And then we just made those few things, few changes in here. So, okay, so this is why I always suggest closing this stuff down. Oh, the GUI CPP we didn't save. Okay, so that's related to the GUI CPP. So make sure you can just, all right, it's not prompting you to save there, not prompting you to save there. Okay, so I must have changed something and didn't save it when I was filming in the last video. So we'll check that out once we get to it and make sure it's nothing that we didn't intend to do. So we changed, essentially we changed all of this to all of this. That's all we did. All right, so now I'll go into GUI.cpp here, figure out what the heck. All right, so I haven't done anything in this. I'll close that. All right, so GUI CPP, what you want to do is just do Control Z here. Just to kind of figure out what did you do that you didn't mean to do. So this was the button. Oh, that's what I did. All right. So what I did here, I just commented this out. See, so this is fine. So comment that out and then save all, and then you know you're good. And just run it again just to make sure we don't do anything else. All right. So that's fine. It's going back. Good. Cool. Excellent. So that's all I did is I commented that out. Okay. So now in the GUI here, so what did I change? I didn't change anything with the buttons. See what is shown if I had done anything with the buttons up here. So I changed this to this, and then to I changed this to this. And then the last thing I did is I commented out this in this. Okay, cool. That's all I did, right? Awesome. And then you can close that, just run it one last time just to make sure. Cool. Right, everything's working. If I were to select here, excellent. You see these are opening behind, right? So we got to fix that. Cool. But other than that, everything's looking really good. Nice. All right, so now we're going to commit. All right. So again, I apologize. I'll try to do that by the end. You can always, if you find these videos are too long and I'm rambling, you can just kind of skip to the end and just see what I've committed here. And blah blah blah. Should be it. Okay, so we're gonna hit commit. Great. Now we don't have anything to worry about. Fantastic. So now if I go back to settings here. All right, awesome. We're looking awesome. Our settings is coming right along. Great. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to create a new button for the apply. We have the back. The back takes us back to the back obviously takes us back to back to the main menu, but now we will need to have an apply button. Okay, so what we want to do is just want to copy this. Okay, and we'll call this apply. Call this apply. And you see what we do here is, ooh, I'm sorry, you don't want to change this one. Change this one. Just want to make this one apply. This one at the bottom here. And yeah, so we should probably comment this out. So this is going to be the back button. All right, this is back. And now this is going to be apply. Okay. Excellent. So now we got the back and we got the apply button, and this should say apply here. Okay. And all right, so we should have a X offset here. So everything's going to be the same on the Y axis, but now we need a little float offset X for these types of buttons, and we'll probably make it like, I don't know, like 100, like that. And then on the X here, for the position of this apply button, we just want to, ooh, what am I doing? All right, we just want to add the X offset here and do a little experimentation with this just to see what this is going to look like. But yeah, so let's just check it out. All right, so you see they're still kind of overlapping. Yeah, another thing we're going to want to do is also probably make these about the same size as these, I'd imagine. So yeah, we can go ahead and do that. So what we have for the size here is size X, size Y. So we have 125. So let's make this 100. Make this 25.f. All right, cool. Nice. And then I think we can, yeah, so we just got to expand the offset a little bit more. What's the character size? The character size is 20 there. Let's make it like 10 here. All right, back and apply. That looks very nice. All right, you do them both at the same time. Yeah, so we want that. Yeah, you see, you can do them both at the same time. You don't want that, so you just got to move it over a tad bit more. Just do like. All right, now they're clearly different there. Cool. Excellent. Now you can't do them at the same time. Sweet. Okay, excellent. Now we got our back and our apply button going. We're looking good. Groovy. All right, so now essentially we need to create a couple other variables here because as you can see, when these overlap, like I can open the full screen here from this. I can open up the VSync from here like this, and we want these when they're overlapping to not affect the one below it. So we have to, we'll have to use the mouse release event, the button release event, and we'll have to have a little bool about whether these can open or not. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to have these little flags in here. And I can check my other code real fast just to make sure I'm 100% knowing what I'm talking about. So yeah, CC, okay, cool. All right, so excellent. Full screen. Resolution. All right, cool. So list. Okay, cool. All right, so you don't want these to update. All right, cool. Understood. mouse release. Okay, cool, excellent. Cool. All right, so essentially what we're going to be doing here is we need some bools here. So bool open, and I don't think we need the bools for the I don't think we need the bools for the resolution because it's like the top one and nothing's going to overlap it. Yeah, we don't need a bool for the resolution. So what we will need bools for, um, we'll need bools. We don't need a bool for the resolution because everything else is below it, but we'll need a bool for full screen, VSync, and anti-aliasing. So we'll just say bool um, open uh, open full screen drop down. All right. We'll say bool open VSync drop down and bool open anti how do you spell anti-aliasing drop down. Okay. Now in variables here, we'll initialize these to true so you can open them. This open full screen drop down equals true. So you can open these from immediately once you get into the settings essentially. Open VSync equals true. And open anti-aliasing. Okay. Great. Now, if we go into update drop downs, we don't want this anymore. We want to update these specifically. So make this for the resolution. We'll go from the top down. So the first one we have is the resolution. So, okay, this drop down resolution. Just copy and paste it just to make sure. Okay. Update DT. And yeah, that's not gonna work because this needs more. How do we do the render drop down? Yep, yep, it's fine. So this will need more than this. This will need this mouse render position. Okay, that should work. Oh, this drop down map. There we go. Beautiful. All right, that's gonna work perfectly. Okay. Okay, so update this drop down map. Okay. And then I think I have like get show list. Okay, so what we'll have to do is we need to get a getter from in here. So we have this show list bool. We have this show list bool here, the show bool. All right, so get input time. We'll do bool get show. Okay. Right here, and this is just going to it's part of the getters we got down here. Let's be this show. Okay, that's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna get that show bool. Cool. That's all I'm gonna do. Go back. Cool. All right, so we got that show bool. All right, and then what we're gonna do is go down here and we're gonna make an if statement. If get show. Right, so if we're getting show here, then we're going to say this pause this open equals false, so you can't open it. This open VSync equals false, So if the essentially if the resolution is open, you'll be able to open this open anti-aliasing equals false as well. Okay, like that. Okay. Now, okay. Now, else if this is not true, meaning that this is false, and this game details dot event type is equal to SF event mouse button released. Okay, so essentially, I think this is how I had it, right? Yeah, and the mouse button release. All right, great. Then these will be true. Okay. Okay. So essentially, this will have to be false, meaning that you have closed it, and the mouse and there was a mouse button release. Okay, meaning that you clicked it and then you released the mouse. So otherwise, this will like kind of change so fast that it'll still open it. So you need to include. So, all right, see that didn't open. All right, it's not going to open now. See, look at that. Beautiful. Get right over. Yep. And now, all right, so now I can't open any of these because can't, all right, because I'm not updating them, okay? So now we need to do this for the rest of them, okay? So now, I think, check my notes here. So, yeah, exactly. All right, so cool, cool, cool. All right, so now, if this open, if this is true, what we can do is we can update the full screen now. Okay. And if I think this is how it is, let me just triple check. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you want to update that. Yeah, exactly. All right, cool, cool. All right, so now, and then what we want to do is we want to do this kind of thing again. So if this full screen gets show list, okay, all we really care about is the vsync because the list isn't going to be big enough for the others. So it'd be like this open vsync dropdown equals false, okay? So that's not going to be, that's just going to be big enough to, else if this is closed, meaning that not, and this, okay, then this open v sync dropdown equals true, okay? Just like that. Cool. All right, now if the open vsync dropdown is true, then vsync here, then finally the vsync can be updated, and if this, then the open anti-aliasing dropdown will be false. That. And the open aliasing will automatically be true at that stage. Okay. Then if the open anti-aliasing is true, then we can update the anti-aliasing, and there will be nothing below the anti-aliasing. So that's all essentially we need to do there. Okay. Beautiful. So let's try this out. All right. All right. See, I can't open the anti-aliasing from the vsync now. All right. Okay, because this is closing and it has to wait for the mouse release as well. Okay, and we'll only turn it true after it read that was closed and there was a mouse release. Okay, great. All right, so now these won't open or select each other. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we need to make it so we actually apply what's here to the graphic settings, and then actually update the program. Okay, so for updating the drop down, so now we're going to update the buttons, but yes, so this is fine. All right, we'll just actually leave this at the top. So this is like the back button. All right, and yeah, so that's going to be resolution. This will be full screen. Okay, this is going to be vsync, and this is going to be this awful word, anti-aliasing, just like that. Okay, cool. Okay, so now if we press the apply button, there's going to be a lot more stuff that goes on. Okay. So I'll check notes. All right. So if we update, get active element ID. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, get active element ID. Yeah. Drop that. Let's get that. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so I forgot. Okay, so these are all right. So, all right. So this next step's pretty easy to go ahead and apply this stuff. So what you want to do is you want to switch the full screen around to no and yes, because by default you don't want it in full screen, and then by default you don't want this to be you don't want the vsync. Okay, so now if you open it, all right, no full screen, no this. Then you have to manually switch it to yes, and now I want it. Yes, now I want it. Okay, now it's going to be good, right? So, okay, so if apply, so what we need to do is we actually need to get the active element ID. Okay, so if I go to GUI here, what am I doing to get the active element? Yeah, get active element ID. All right, so it's from the drop list. Return active element get ID. Cool. That's all you do. All right, great. All right, so what we need to do is we need to go into here. We need to have a getter for the drop downs called, this should be a short, right? Because I have a short up here, short ID. So we need to short, and we'll make this like a constant short get ID, const, well, I guess, right? And this is not just any ID, actually, this is going to be the, this is actually going to be the active element. I call this active element up here, right? Yeah, active element ID. So this is going to be the one that we selected. Okay. We got to return this active element and then get the button's ID. So get, nope, get ID. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Great. All right, awesome. Save that. That's all you need to do. Nothing more than that. All right, great. Now we're going to go back into the settings here. Updating the drop downs there. Okay, now we're going to update the buttons down here. All right, so all right, so essentially, let me just recheck this. Okay, so what's going on here is update buttons. Great, 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 great. So update the buttons. Update the buttons. I don't care about is update the buttons. Okay, cool. All right, so we can do a little check, I guess, but this vsync ID. All right, cool. Was that great? Okay, excellent, 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 excellent. Okay, so what we want to do is we actually want to save these active element IDs. So we'll do short, we'll do resolution ID, okay? We'll do short uh, full screen ID. We'll do short vsync ID. Oops. Vsync ID. We'll do short that awful word anti anti-aliasing ID, because what we'll want to do is we'll actually want to save these. We'll actually want to save these to a document. Okay. And for right now, until I am in the future and I can think properly, I'll set these to 0. So this resolution ID equals 0. This full screen ID equals 0. This what am I trying to say? This resolution equals 0. What am I trying to do? This vsync ID equals 0, and this we'll actually want to load these for the file in the future, but for right now, anti-aliasing ID equals 0 as well. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so now if I go down here, I'll do I could do this resolution ID will be equal to this drop down map. Let's copy it from here since that equals active element ID. So we're getting the active element ID. And remember, we're setting these active element IDs. We're setting these active element IDs when we in the init variables here. So that's what this is here. And then in the buttons we have this this ID short. And as we go through all the number of elements, we're assigning, the first element 0, right? Then 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. So you know, for, you know, so there'll be 0 and 1 for the true and false, and then there will be many more for the resolutions and stuff like that. Right? That's all we're doing. So we have resolution ID equals resolution, drop them in resolution exists. Okay. Now this game details dot graphic settings um, set. Okay, so we have get, but we don't have setters. We don't have setters in the graphic settings. We got to go in the graphic settings and make some setters. Okay, so these will be setters. Okay, and this will be void set video mode. And this is going to take an constant. You can do a constant SF video mode mode. Okay, and this will be void set full screen. This will be a const bool full screen. This will be a void set vsync. Be a const bool vsync. Okay, and this will be void set essentially context. Yeah, set context settings, and this should be const sf context settings context settings like this. Okay, and then so setters here. So essentially this video mode is equal to video W. Oops, full screen. This full screen is equal to full screen. Okay. This vsync is equal to vsync and this context settings equal to context settings. This. Okay. Cool. So that should be good. All right. So we got some setters in here now. Okay. Cool. We got setters. Bada boom, bada bing. Beautiful. Okay, great. So now if we were to go to here and go to graphic settings, now we should see these set video mode will be equal to this video modes at the resolution ID. Like that. Okay. Beautiful. Fantastic. Okay, so remember we have this video modes as a vector, and we're putting all the video modes into this via this function that comes with SFML. And essentially we're getting the active element ID. And we are saving it locally, or saving as a member variable in this. And the reason why, again, why we want to do that is because we want to save these in a configuration document so that when you close down the software and reopen it, all your settings are going to remain the same. Okay. And then here we are actually setting the current game details to, so we're setting the video mode of the graphics settings in our game details to the video mode's vector at this element. Okay. Cool. All right. So that's for the resolution here. Resolution. Now we'll have the full screen. Okay, cool. So this full screen ID will be equal to this drop down. Let's drop down map and full screen. Is that how it is? Good. Film ID. Okay. So there's only two elements in the full screen. Okay. It's only going to be two elements here in the full screen, just because it's true or false. And the first element will be no for 0, and the second element will be 1 for yes. So essentially, all we'll need here is graphics settings set full screen to this full screen ID. Okay. That's all we'll do there. Okay. So if you selected no, it would be 0 anyway, and if you selected yes, then it would be positive anyway. Right, and then we got the VSync. We'll do the exact same thing with VSync. Oops. This VSync ID is equal to this drop down at however I spell it, like this. Get the drop down map. Get active element ID. This game details, this graphics settings, set the VSync to this VSync ID. And that again will be just like the full screen, very easy. Okay, so the all right, so essentially for the anti-aliasing, we're going to have a little switch because there's going to be different options for this. So, so take this off word here, put here. Okay, so first we'll just grab the ID. So this anti-aliasing ID is going to be equal to this with this word. Okay, so now we got that. All right, now we need to make a little switch. Depending on what we have for the anti-aliasing ID here, we'll have a few different cases. Okay, so I think we'll have how many options? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so essentially case 0. Oops, got to use not the semicolon, that break. All right, and we'll just copy this bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this will be case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6. And I have a switch somewhere else, I think. I forgot where I had a switch. Nope. Oh, what the hell was I doing here? All right, fine. Switch in here. Nope. Anyway, I don't have any switches. All right, so anyway, go back to here, then I'll just do a default case here. Default case here. Um, row error. This will be in settings invalid which entry, and the function that the switch is in is here. Okay, and good. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay, awesome. So if we were case 0, then this game details, graphic settings, set context settings equal to context settings okay, I think I might have to make a temporary context settings. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, all right, great, 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 great. All right, so I know what I need to do. So if I go back into, I will actually change this to specifically setting the anti-aliasing level because, all right, so context settings dot anti-aliasing level will be equal to, what's this? It's going to be unsigned. All right, so this has to be an unsigned int. All right, so const unsigned int. This is essentially the anti-aliasing level. So anti-aliasing level. All right, set. I'll actually call this setting the anti-aliasing level. Right, so go back to here now. I'll just setting anti-aliasing level, and that's what we want. Bam. Okay, cool. And then in here, this will be equal to the aliasing. Okay, that's what we got. All right, so now we'll go back to here. This is set anti-aliasing level. So if it was element 0, I want to have 0 there. Okay. And if it was 1, then you're going to want to have 1 here. It's all power 2, remember? And then you're going to want to have 2 here. And then you're going to want to have 4 here. You're going to want to have 8 here. You're going to have 16 here. You're going to have 32 here. Yep. Bam. And that's all we're going to do. Okay. And then at the end of all of this, all right, so now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a cool. So now that's the switch, and you're probably going to want to go to this game details, graphic settings, save the file. All right. So now we have applied these graphic settings, and we have saved them to the file. Now we're going to want a couple of load and save, save and load active element IDs. So this would be void save ID to file, void load ID from file. Okay. This. Right. So what we'll do is when we save to a file, we'll go std in no, this will be out file stream because we're sending it out. So f file stream. This will be of this, and then we'll go into config active element ID dot ini. Okay. Then if OF is open, what we want to do is we want to do this resolution ID. No, I'm sorry, we got to do this resolution ID, then a line. And pretty much just do it for all of these. So this will be a full screen ID, vsync ID, and anti-aliasing ID. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And then ofs.flows, just like that. Right, so that's just allowing us to save these to a file. And so now we'll want to do this save ID to file as well. All that there. Okay, and then the load the file. So we'll do an end file stream. So std in file stream, and we will use this exact same file. Okay, like that. Okay, cool, like that. Great. And oops, we gotta call it in file stream. We gotta create an object, so in file stream like that. So if in file stream that is open, okay. File stream, so we're bringing in from the file now. This resolution ID, this full screen ID, this okay, so this this we got this full screen excuse me, it's full screen ID. We got the vsync ID, and then we got fs this this no, not video modes, vsync ID, and then we got this anti-aliasing ID, just like that. And then this will be close. Okay, cool. So those are our load and save, and we might want to just go ahead and put some default variables for the initial run of this in here. So if we go to desktop, this, and we go to side scroller game engine config, what we can do is we go to open here, go to save as active element ID like that, and we'll just do 0, 0, 0, 0 for all four of these initially. Okay, great. So initially everything will be set to 0. And then if we go up to the variables here, we can now get rid of all this. And what we want to do is we want to do this load IDs from file here. Okay. And when we make the drop downs, we actually want to set the active element ID after at this stage. So let me see, setters, no, this is all, let's get rid of this, we're done with this, we're done with this. Okay. Okay, so we actually want to set the active element ID at this point. All right, so void setters, void set active element ID. This will be const short short ID. Let me just check my code here. I remember. No. Yeah. Set ID buttons, set text, get text. Gotcha. All right, so we need to set the active element ID and then set the text. All right, so now if we go back, we'll need to make a couple other things here. So setters, so set ID. So we got the set ID. Right, so we got the set ID. Great, we got the set ID from here. We got the string from here. Beautiful. All right, so now in this so we want to do this active element set ID to this, and then this active element dot set string to this button vector at this active element dot get ID, and then you get the string. Okay. So that's what we want to do. That's what I had here. Yep. Cool. Oops. All right, this will be our little setter here. All right. Now, bada boom, bada bing. All right, so now for all of these, we want to do resolution set active ID to this resolution ID. Here we go. Let's just do this resolution. Full screen. The sync. Right. Okay. Okay. Now, now the final thing we want to do is essentially recreate the window with all these new settings applied. So we're almost done. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to, we'll want this function in the base class here. So we'll go over here. Okay. All right. So I'm not sure what to call this. I guess we want to call this maybe this is like a setter, so void set uh window. Okay. All right, and what we can do is we can go to game state here and just copy and paste all this in here. Yeah, but this is going to be, so you want to do just highlight this much, go to here, click this arrow, and then you'll be able to swap it out. So game info, ah, no, that's not what I want. All right, get out. So, all right, so, oops, no, don't do that. I'm sorry, go back to game here, copy all of that, back to here, go to here, grab all of that, drop down here. This game info graphics settings. Make sure you spell it right. And then all uh uh Control Z. Sorry, game details. Oh, and now do this exact same thing for window. Uh, Find, and then just try to replace this last thing here with window. Oh yeah, so this should be create. And essentially what this create or recreate the window. If a window was already created, it closes it first. If the style contains full screen, then blah, blah, blah. So this is essentially what you do to just like recreate the window, okay, with the new settings applied. Okay, so then we're going to go back to settings here, and we're going to go to update buttons, and this is will be kind of the last thing we'll call uh, this uh, set window like that. All right, and hopefully this works on first try. So if I were to go to full screen here, click apply. All right, look at that. Excellent, excellent. And then go back. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so what's happening here is we're not reinitializing anything, okay? All right, so now we're back. All right, so we need to reinitialize. We need to reinitialize everything. So that's the last thing we're going to want to do. And you see, since we're popping and and pushing the setting state is getting completely destroyed when I go back to the main menu here. The main menu is always alive. Okay, so we want to do one last thing before we do this. Is we just want to reinitialize everything in every single state. Okay, and if I open this again, you see it kept the settings and it loaded them. Look at that, beautiful. And you see main menu was initialized from the very beginning with these settings, so that's why I was like that. All right, so we want to do one more thing. All right, you want to go into settings here. This will be another setter. Void set state initializations. I think that's how you want to call it. Let me make sure I spelled this right. Yeah, initializations. Okay, so what we want to do here is what we're going to do is we're going to do for auto. All right, so first of all, actually, let's go back to, we need the main menu header. So we're going to create a new function in here. We're going to create a setter, void set initializers. I'm spelling it right, just like that. And all we want to do in here is reinitialize all these. So we're going to do this init background, this init buttons, just like that. Okay. And we want to have this everywhere. Actually, we might as well just make this a pure virtual function because every single state should have this. So virtual equals 0, just like that. I'll make it a pure virtual function to ensure that every single leave it okay. Or have it at the bottom here because just to match the flow of things. All right. You might have this up here. I'm just organizing this so it looks nice. All right, so we'll make sure that every single state has this. And setters, void, okay. Okay, and then we just want to call all the essentially every single initializer. You may not want to call every single initializer, but you want to call whatever you need. Like once we get into our game state, we'll have like initializing of the enemies and stuff. And you may not want to like respawn the enemies, etc. But anything related to kind of the graphics, you'll probably want to reinitialize. So init buttons, and then init this init drop downs. Okay, just kind of like that. All right, so now every single set initialization is cool. So now every single state will have that, right? So we'll do auto I this game details states. Okay, so I might have to. Might have a dereference. There we go. Right, so you need to have it like that with a dereference the pointer here. And then we'll do no I set initializers, just like that. All right. And then what we want to do back here is I think we want to call this before we set the window. Maybe after. Let's see if this works. See what happens when we do this. I'll put this back to no. Oh, that was yes. Okay, so I'm kind of getting the inverse there. All right, let's see if we can. Okay, okay, I think I know what's going on. All right, so save the file. Okay, let me just see what I have, kind of the flow of this I have over here. All right. Do apply, then we do save the file. All right, then we save the file. Then game info, save the file, yeah. Recreate window. And then reinitialize states. All right, that should essentially be it. The deal is here. Okay. Save the ID file. Save the file. Save the ID file. Set window. Set state initializations. Go back to here. Set initializers. Set initializers. If I go back to edit view. Okay, that should be working. Let me see. Saving all of that. Resolution ID, full screen ID, blah blah blah. Oh, maybe I gotta set the active ID. Let me see what I got here. Active ID, no, that's what I'm doing there. And the load variables. Load from file. Elements. Set active ID element. So we got here. Load from file. Load ID from file. Resolution ID. Oh, this is what's happening. You got to change this full screen ID, vsync ID, anti-aliasing ID. All right, so there we go. So now, okay, get string. Okay, what's happening here? So maybe this doesn't like the const here. This doesn't like the const here. Let's see. Maybe this can't be const. Let me just take out all this const stuff. Maybe it's going to return. I think a SF string should be the exact same as. Yeah, 'cause it's going to have to convert it into a string, so maybe that's the. Uh-oh. Alright, so let me do static pass std string, make sure that this is 100% string here. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Something's getting stuck. Something's getting stuck. All right. This is all good. Resolution ID, full screen ID, sync ID. Why are you getting stuck? Why are you getting stuck? Stop running. All right, so let me go back to here. We go into desktop here. We go over here, side scroller, big, graphics, settings. All right. So let's go to make that 0. So I kind of see what's going on. Oh, -1. Ooh, that's not good. We're getting -1 here. Why? I can make this 0. That's supposed to be. Okay, why are you switching up like that? What the heck? Why is it not working? What do I have here for the get string? Why are you not working? That's what I did. And I didn't need any of this. Like here, why? I'm still getting -1 there, that's why. Okay. I have no idea why I'm getting -1 here. This is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Okay, so, and another thing is, why is the video mode resolution, get active element ID, drop down full screen ID, graphics settings, drop down full screen, get the active element ID. So I got the, yes, I got the no, right? There's no other, okay. I don't even know how I can get a -1 in there. It's ridiculous. Must be something wrong with my constructor. Okay. Um, hmm. Get the active element ID. Okay. Set the ID. Maybe it's just the ID here. Okay, what the heck's going on? All right. 0, 1, 2, let me see. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh boy. Anyway, I'm probably gonna have to look into this and figure this out. This is not good. Set video mode. Yep, this is not good. Save the file. Okay. Get the dang string from that. What the heck? Okay. This set string, button vector, ID, get string. Let me see what I had. Here. Let me see it. Go back in here. What if I were to change these to okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to see why the heck I'm getting these. So, Let's see what I'm getting here. Oops. Let's see why I'm getting it. All right. Okay, so I'm getting absolutely no change in the ID. All right, so that's where the issue is lying. So go back here. All right, so get active element ID. Let me check my notes back here. Get ID. That's just the ID. Okay. Okay, and then okay, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. What's the big deal here? That's exactly what we did here. And then I guess in this for loop here, okay, so the button IDs are being assigned. Oh, maybe I'm not putting them in here. That's what I'm doing. I didn't. I'm so dumb. All right, you need to initialize the IDs here. ID. This ID equals ID. That's exactly what that was. Now everything should work. Ha! Nice. No, I do not want to do that. So we have a link issue because my antivirus. So that's exactly what that was. Turn off my antivirus for a second. Rebuild this. Whenever you get a linker issue, just rebuild it. It'll be fine. Okay, so great. Now everything is working. All right, so woo! That was the case. We needed to initialize that ID. Okay, so you see, now it's not full screen. Now if I go back, if I were to exit the program, all of those should remain the same. See? Now if I were to enable this, and I were to put this at 16, apply, close down the program, settings. All right, so our settings is officially complete. Man, I apologize for this video being so long. I finished this right on time because my wife's gonna want to have lunch about now. But thank you for sticking with me. That was ridiculous. I'm gonna edit the videos so that I uh, skip all of that trouble. Yes. So now let's go ahead and just commit this and wrap this up. Just gonna commit this real fast. Bada boom, bada bing. We're good, we're good, we're good. So go over here, go to Git, commit, and stash. All right, so you can say that we have finally completed the settings state. All right, and in state H1, we added the following. Good, that's all we did. And then in state .cpp, we added following. Beautiful. In settings .h, we added following. Great. Now in settings.cpp, change this to this. All right, we changed init buttons to init buttons 3. We changed init drop downs to init drop downs. Okay. 4. We added this. 5. We changed update drop downs to update drop downs. That was, I forgot one, but anyway, like 6. We changed update buttons to update buttons. 7. We added these load and save functions. And that's it. All right. And then in main menu, we added this. In main menu .cpp, we added this. Okay. Then in GUI.h, cool. GUI.h. All right, so in GUI.h, this is for the buttons. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put const back here. So const, let's be extra safe. All right, so in GUI.h, for the buttons side of this, we added uh, nothing really. All right, so we actually. All right, so we actually didn't. Let me just see the way this looks. Uh, GUI. All right, that's fine. We need to change this back here. Const, and then const. Okay. So save all. Right, so in GUI.h, that's all fine. This is actually for dropdown. We added one. We added this stuff. Then two, we added this. Okay, fantastic. And I think all this is pretty self-explanatory. What we're doing exactly. And then GUI.cpp. All right, so this is for I'm going to differentiate the button side of this. So buttons, we added this this big deal to this big deal. All right, that's all we did, and we don't even need this. We don't even need this, and we don't even need this. We don't even need this. That's just like that. That was just like a debug thing. So you see, this is the importance of doing this because you can get rid of stuff that you don't need anymore, and extra space there. It's all clean. All right, so now we're on the GUI.cpp drop down side of it. All right, so one, we added this stuff, and then two, we added this. Beautiful, fantastic. Okay, awesome. So that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. All right, so let's just close all of this. Yes, we can go ahead and save this. Just make sure that all of this looks nice and tidy. Oh, we forgot the graphics settings. We added stuff to graphics settings too. Let's how did we forget that? Commit and stash. Yeah, I totally forgot the graphics settings. So we got one more we gotta do. So we got graphics settings. Graphics settings.h. All right, so we added all of this. And then two. Nope, graphics settings.cpp. We added all of this. Bam. All right, now we're documenting. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna go through this real fast, just make sure everything looks really clean, good. Yep, that all looks fantastic. Settings, great. Drop downs, all the comments look good, good, awesome. Push this stuff back. Awesome. Okay. That's fantastic. All right, so that's about it. All this looks very, very nice. Beautiful, look at that. And then, okay, beautiful, look at that. Excellent. Getters, setters, update functions. The extra lines that we don't need. What's that of there? Beautiful. Okay, so now we can officially, let's just run it one more time, make sure there's nothing, no eyesores. Settings, set this to yes. Remembered all of our settings. Set this to 4. We could set this to yes. We could set this to this. Apply. Okay, I have to get out of it this way because it's in full screen, but I'll set this back to no. So I want to get full screen. Okay, and if I get out of here, reopen it again. It's all the same settings. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Officially time to commit. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one, all right? Congratulations, we have completed the settings. I will see you in the next video, all right? Bye-bye.